Today we're going to be talking about 4.1 using graphs to relate to quantities. Today we're going to be identifying locations of points by using the x and y axis on the coordinate plane. And in a two-dimensional system, the x-axis will always run horizontal, the y-axis will always run vertical. The axis will separate the plane into four regions called quadrants. Quadrants are really important to know. We were going to talk about these a lot. So let's go on to the next slide. All right, so this is a coordinate plane, this little graph thing over here. Think of the x-axis. This is going to be the x-axis. Let me write it and label it for you. X-axis. Think of it like the number line. So if you covered up the stuff that is above and below, think of it just like your number line where you have 0 here in the middle. And this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And over on the other side are just like on your number line, the negative numbers. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5, and so on. All right? So where the x-axis crosses the y-axis, and this one's going to be labeled the y. Let me write that up here. The y-axis. Okay? Where these two cross is called the origin. Right here in the middle where they cross. That's your origin. And that location is at 0, 0, because you notice that right here is a 0, and if we're doing the y-axis numbers, they go up in a positive direction, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they would go down negative direction. So this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. Okay? Sorry, they're kind of small. Points are located by using ordered pairs. Ordered pairs are an actual location on your y-axis and then a location on your x-axis, or actually I should say the x location first and then the y. They always come in alphabetical order, the x before the y. Okay, just like right here. Numbers to the right of the origin to this side are positive, and to the left are negative on the x-axis. The y-axis runs vertically, and the numbers above are positive and the ones below are negative. Now as far as the quadrants go, this will be quadrant 1, and they're usually listed in Roman numerals. 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Now, if you'll notice, in quadrant 1, you're going to have a location that's going to be a positive and a positive. So that would be a plus coordinate for your x and a plus coordinate for your y. Over in quadrant 2, you're going to have a negative x but a positive y. So this is going to be a negative, positive. In quadrant 3, you're going to have a negative and a negative. So this is going to be negative, negative, and in quadrant 4 you will have a positive, negative. So this will be plus, negative. Okay? Alright, the y-axis runs vertically, and we already talked about that. The numbers above the origin will be positive, the numbers below will be negative. We will be placing a dot in the location for a given point. So to plot a point, you usually start at 0, 0, which is the origin right here, and since the ordered pair is x, y, we will always go to the left or right first and then up or down to plot a point. Okay, so you need to know these quadrants. One way you can remember the quadrants if you get confused as to which order it goes, make a big C for coordinate plane, and it starts in the first coordinate and goes around in that C pattern, and if you just start there and number it, you should have it in the right order. So think of the coordinate plane as a C for coordinate plane, and it starts right there and goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? All right, next slide. We're going to start graphing. Fortunately, now you can see some of these points a little bit better. All right, so let's say we wanted to graph the point and make this point A. Let's say we wanted to start with 2, 3. 2 is my x coordinate, and the 3 would be my y. And it will always come x, then y, always. So you start at the origin, and you go over 2, 1, 2, because it's a positive 2. And then we're going to go up 3 because it's a positive 3. So we go 1, 2, and 3. And you will put a dot right there where it intersects, and that will be point A. All right, the next point we can do is -4, 0. Okay, again, it is always your x and then your y. Okay, so we're going to go left, right, starting at the origin, left to the -4, and then we're going to go up 0. Well, that happens to be right on this axis. Okay, so -4, 0 goes right there, and that is B. Okay, and let's think of another point. Let's do 0, 3. Okay, so we start on the left to right, we go to the origin, which happens to be where I need to start anyway because that's 0 on your x, and then we're going to go up 3 and put a point, and that is going to be point C. All right, let's make another one, -4, -2. Okay, so we're going to start at the origin. We go to the left because it's a -4, -4, but now we're going to go down because it's a -2. So down 2, and that's point D. All right, let's do another one. How about -2, 4? Right? So we're going to start left, right, go to -2, and then we're going to go up 4 because it's positive. Up here, and that's going to be point E. All right, let's do another point. Let's do 3, -6. All right, so that means we're going to start at the origin and go to the positive right. But we have to go down 6 because it's a -6. So we're going to go down here, put a dot, and that's point W. All right, let's do another one. How about 4, -2? Again, start from the origin, go to the right 4, and down 2. Put a dot. That's point K. And last one we should do would be 7, 0. All right, so 0.70, you go up to the origin, you're going to go right 7, but we're not going up at all because it's at 0, so it's going to be a point right there, and that's going to be T. Okay? Now, let's talk about some things. Let's go ahead and mark our quadrants. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and here's quadrant 4. Now, if I asked you what quadrant point A was in, you would tell me quadrant 1. It's in this section over here. If you were to ask what quadrant E was in, it'd be quadrant 2. Point D would be in quadrant 3, and point K and W both are in quadrant 4. But let's talk about point T, point C, and point B. Point T is not in a quadrant. Point T is on an axis. So if you were asked for the location, you would not say a quadrant. You would say it's on the x-axis, as this is the x-axis. Okay. Point C, similar situation. It's not in any particular quadrant. It's on the y-axis. So if you were asked what the location was, you would say it's on the y-axis. And on point B, similar to the others, it's not in a quadrant. It's on the axis. It is on the x-axis. Okay? All right. Now, let's plot and label these points that I've already given you, okay? And change colors. All right, so we need to find and locate and plot point F. F starts at 8, 0, so I am going to go to the right, because you always go left or right first when you're plotting points. Go to the right at 8, and am I going up any? No, it's at 0, so I'm going to put a point right there. And this is going to be point F. All right, G is 0, -6. So I go to the origin. I'm at 0 on my X, so I just go down 6 and put a dot. And that's point G. All right, and then H is 1, -4. Again, go up to the origin, go left, right. So it's 1, and then I go down 4. And that would be point H. And then J is going to be -7. -7 over here. And then -5. That's J. And then the last one, L, is -4, 2. -4 and then +2, which we'll put it right here. So when you're plotting these points and when you're trying to locate them, think of it as trying to give someone directions to get to that point. How would you tell them to go? You have to tell them left or right first and then up or down. So you must tell them those directions in a certain order in order to be able to plot these points correctly. Okay. And I believe that's all. All right, so if you have any questions, come see me at school, but we will practice this at school, and have a good day.